XRP, be a millionaire, think like a whale. You know, if you're going to be a millionaire, you need to be able to think like a millionaire. Many people aren't able to do both at the same time. Many lotto winners get millions and millions of dollars and are broke just a few years later. You've seen it and heard it. In fact, most lotto winners do that because they're not thinking like a millionaire. Well, what about we see this market dip, thinking like a whale? Then there's a second part, and I was trying to figure a way to title this, but you may have never even considered this particular thought. As you may know, we can cover the story, but XRP, Ripple, has moved 100 million coins to another wallet. Well, have we ever considered the idea that this is a bullish signal, not a bearish signal? We say, no, they're going to dump 100 million on the market. Really? We don't know that yet. Did you ever consider that Ripple, first of all, could be providing this many coins to an institution? You say, no, they can't do that. Oh, yes, they can, and we're going to talk about that. And don't you figure that that's eventually going to happen whenever the flip of the switch occurs? There's going to be tons of coin that are going to have to be in the hands of the people. Let's talk about this. First, let's go through the first rigmaroles that we go through on the show. We're going to look at a couple coins. You'll see a commercial. You sure will. All of this is about a minute and a half long. So, just bear with me, okay? So here we go. Caleb & Brown is a brokerage firm that is a brokerage firm of my choice. I've reviewed how they work and what they do. This is an excellent program. You get your own broker that you can contact by phone anytime. By the way, they have no limits and no fees on withdrawals, and XRP holders can sell out large volumes whenever they need. Did you hear that? There's no limits. Most exchanges have limits. Many of the exchanges lock up when there's a bullish run. You would be able to contact your broker and be able to get your funds released to the wild, so to speak, and sell it at the highest rate because they can trickle sell to maintain a high price instead of bombing out the price of the asset. So get a hold of Caleb & Brown. They can help you out. They'll help you out with custody as well. Give them a shot. There's links in the description. Well, with everything bottoming out, still crypto trading funds still at $1. That's not too bad. That's a good purchase range, in my opinion. Use your own opinion. Trading in and out of this thing. They've been adding utility. They have added more utility to earning rewards as you use the coin to purchase. There'll be more on that later, but that's very interesting. They're adding utility to this coin. Looks like they're doing some good work on it. Let's put together a few thoughts so we have a basis to talk about some of the things that I mentioned right at the beginning of the video. Let's talk about a contrarian investor. What is a contrarian strategy in trading risk and rewards? We're not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to read these two pieces right here. Contrarian investing is an investment style in which investors purposely go against prevailing market trends by selling when others are buying and buying when most investors are selling. Berkshire Hathaway Chair and Chief Executive Officer CEO Warren Buffett is a famous contrarian investor. Contrarian investors believe that people who say the market is going up do so only when they are fully invested and have no further purchasing power. At this point, the market is at its peak. So when people predict a downturn, they have already sold out and the market can only go up at this point. Okay, so this just makes the idea clear. To think like a whale, and I know you hear people like buy the dips. That's part of this thinking. This is definitely part of that thinking. But not just buying the dips. Market sentiment. As people get more and more upset at we're talking about XRP, more and more upset at XRP and the pricing, it is flushing people out. It really is flushing people out. And you hear many of the content creators saying, hey, don't be flushed out, they're not going to get me out, statements like that. That is a way to think. Also, buy low, sell high. So this is one of the aspects of thinking like a whale. But there's also some other aspects of thinking like a whale that move on to maybe the institution of Ripple and XRP. Maybe they have a different thought process about things as well. So let's talk about that a second. We'll establish something real quick with this article. Ripple 100 million XRP transfer sparks buzz as SEC hints at filing an appeal. We're not talking about the appeal, we're just talking about the moving. Ripple moving 100 million XRP fuels discussion. Let's see, the U.S. blockchain firm Ripple has recently moved 100 million XRP worth around 43 million, sparking market speculations amid heightened tensions with the U.S. SEC. The massive transaction coincided with indications that the SEC may appeal the XRP lawsuit ruling, and I don't think they will. But so this is just, we're going to talk about this 100 million coin movement. And kind of like the Contrarian article, we're just going to review this just for the sake of it, because what is market sentiment? Some of you most of you probably know what this means, so this is probably elementary for some, but it could be new for some. So I wanted to talk about market sentiment. Market sentiment is the current attitude of investors overall regarding a company, a sector, or a financial market as a whole. The mood of the market is affected by crowd psychology. It is revealed through the buying and selling activity. So now, let's talk about this other aspect of, could it be that Ripple is moving XRP and selling XRP for institutional purposes? That's going to happen one day, and we're going to talk about that, and then we'll talk about real quick how it's really possible. So let's get on with that part. So the first thought that's going to come to your mind is, can they sell it to institutions? Because they were, sued by the SEC, and the SEC is like, hey, you guys, that was you selling securities. You were selling securities. Well, that's the security part is only if there's a contract or some kind of a statement of security for that particular asset to be at a certain price, maintain a certain price, or blah, blah, blah. But if there's none of that, it's just purchasing at your own risk and anything may happen, that's not a security. So here's the legal lowdown. Of course you know this. A U.S. judge ruled that Ripple selling XRP directly to institution constitutes selling securities, which needs to follow specific security laws and require an exemption, which means Ripple can't just waltz into a bank and sell XRP like it's selling lemonade at a cosmic bazaar without some legal hoops to work around. Here's the workaround. What is the workaround? The workaround, however, Ripple isn't completely out of luck or out of the XRP selling business. They can still sell XRP to institutions if they play by the rules, like claiming a federal securities exemption. This means with the right paperwork or a nod from the SEC, Ripple can indeed sell XRP directly to institutions, but it's not as simple as a direct sell without any regulatory oversight. Now, part of this that I want to talk about is this. So thinking like a whale or thinking like an institution, there's a different mindset. So if we're to think like Ripple, one of the very first video I ever did that went viral, I was talking about how when Brad Garlinghouse or whoever it was is presenting these ideas to banks and institutions about XRP, that one of the questions I would have as a bank would be, well, Mr. Garlinghouse, let's say I go for this, who am I going to send it to? Don't they have to be able to take XRP? So That would be one of the questions. And as you know, Ripple XRP overcame that by creating situations where XRP can be sent to different exchanges and the exchanges can cash out for the bank. So even if they don't have XRP. However, so many people have signed up, everybody can move XRP. Then what is the additional thing? Well, you don't have to have XRP. You could use multiple different coins. And Quant has Overledger to link all of those where you could send several. So those solutions have kind of been mitigated by development and by this thing progressing on down the road. But one of the other aspects, moving on past that, is, all right, so I can move the coin, but maybe I should buy it now while it's low priced, because when all the other institutions come in, it's going to drive the price up because everybody's going to be buying at the exchanges. And I could imagine Mr. Garlinghouse saying, well, I understand, and we wouldn't, so don't buy right now. We can't do that right now. We can't have everybody coming in and buying right now, and we don't want you to get it at a better price than my next customer. Otherwise, we drive the price up slower, and then my last customer's like, well, God, I wish you'd have came to me like you came to them, right? So doesn't that make sense? You don't want to disappoint your customers. So what is the next idea? Well, a direct purchase is one way to not drive the price up, because we know what drives up price is buying, right? When a bunch of buyers come in, the price drives up. But sellers lower the price. So if Ripple themselves become the sellers, they can keep the price low and hand that off to institutions, instead of institutions going and driving the price to the moon for their other customers. Now, I know you and me are like, no, man, go to the exchanges. Don't do it that way. Well, hold on. It's the mass adoption that's going to drive the price up. Once the companies have figured how much coin needs to be. Now this is going to be thought out, isn't it? It's going to be thought out. It's going to be like, okay, hey, bank number one, how much do you move on an annual basis? Well, we move whatever the number is. We move this much. Next bank, we move this much. Next bank, we move this much. We move this much. Okay, so if we divide all that out and all of this is the amount of money that's going to be moved, what is the price of XRP going to need to be for all of you to be able to move all the money that you're moving in a year's time, and how many of those coins will you need at that price? That is definitely calculable. Look back at my videos where I calculate. I have the XRP calculator. It is calculable. That is a calculable number. That is a number that has to be thought about. We are going to see some sales go on by Ripple to institutions or transfer from their wallets, whatever. There's going to be movement that's going to take place big time, and going to hand these tokens to the banks. Now, the amount of tokens that they can offer is all they can offer. If you look at one of my other past videos, and we talked about every time there's a dispersion, there's a monthly dispersion of $1 billion, they usually turn around 800 million. Okay, those 800 million that they just turned around, the clock starts for a 40-month period. They're locked. So every month behind us, there's 39 months locked, 800 billion, and all the money that's been turned around. So all of the XRP coins are not available just all the time, all the ones on the exchange. So the only ones that are available are on the exchanges, are in the AMMs, because they can be rented. That's how you earn fees, by being in the liquidity pool. And the ones on the exchanges are available. And then the ones that are in escrow, those can be available. So those are the only coins available. All the coins right now are owned by somebody in a wallet somewhere, whether it's an exchange or whether it's individuals like you and me. So all I'm saying is, when we see huge movement, we don't know that they haven't written for permission to go ahead and sell tons to institutions, or do it in small settings, 100 million at a time, or 50 million at a time, whatever can be released in preparation for the flip of the switch. I hope you like this content. This is what I had for you today. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of a content. I really appreciate it. You don't want to miss some of the other speculative videos that I do sometimes whenever we're just wrapping our mind around process like this. So please do like and subscribe. Also, listen, if you need a custody wallet, you knew I was going to throw it in here. Okay, so I offer that all the time because so many of you buy them on a consistent basis. You wouldn't believe how many of these sell every single month. I am having tons of sales, which means there's tons of people that want to take charge and have self-custody wallet. You can stick your HBAR in there, your XDC. You don't have to create weirdo files and all that stuff. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I do appreciate you watching the video. Tell me what you think in the comments about what I'm suggesting here. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you next video.